I wanted to ask you yesterday, but in Cameroon, which is I've asked you about before, those Anglophone region protest leaders were held over for trial. They faced the death penalty. One of them is a former UN legal advisor, Mr. Felix Agbor-Bala. So I'm just wondering, is there any, this is in the country, it seems to be an escalation, people, and I'm wondering whether, I know it took about a week to get the comment from Lansani Fall. Is there any more rapid response to the holding over of these leaders?
I think we believe that all parties need to address the current issues in a spirit of dialogue, and I'll try to get a bit more from Mr. Fall.
Okay, and do you have any, on this RIF issue, I just wanted to, and again, I want to be clear, I wasn't telling you to be quiet. I think there may be some misunderstanding. Okay, my question was really just, if you could give some, it seemed like you said there's something might be coming the next day, so I just wanted to ask.
Sure, I mean, as soon as I have something, I will share it and not hold it. Mr. Lee, and then Ben.
I wanted to ask you, the media authority of the government of South Sudan has said publicly that 20 non-South Sudanese journalists are on a blacklist to not enter the country and report. And given particularly that there's a mission there, has the mission said anything about that and tried to push back?
I have not seen those reports or aware that the mission has said anything. But obviously, as you said, we feel it's important that journalists be able to report on what is going on and what the UN mission is doing.
And I wanted to ask you again, I know I was sort of surprised. I'd asked you about Jeffrey Sachs in the past and his UN position and the things that he writes within the scope of his employ. And yesterday he wrote in a syndicated article saying that Trump, climate change sociopath, that he's a sociopath, which is, you know, there may be many people that believe that, but I wanted to know, what is the relationship between this syndicated op-ed and the UN system? It's totally within the scope of his SDG mandate. So what have been the, I wanted to ask this right. I know you're not privy to the communications between the Secretary General and Mr. Sachs, but how is a member of the public to understand when he lists himself as a UN official? I mean, that's fine. Is it the Secretary General's view that President Trump is a sociopath?
No.
Okay. So if he has an official that's using the UN's name and he's saying that,
I think it is clear that that those words written by Mr. Sachs were not done in his capacity as a UN advisor.
How do we know that, though? It doesn't say it. Is that communicated?
You're asking me. I can tell you, and
all right.
I'll leave it at that, unless you have another question.
I do, actually.
Please.
I wanted to ask, I mean, maybe you weren't able to or you could find out, even in the absence of Mr. Guterres, this idea that he met with the permanent representative of Saudi Arabia. Have you been able to find out if it's true or not true?
No. Ben.